What's up, everybody? It's Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers, but not today. Because today I got a message for you. I was running through that real fast, so I'm going to leave that in. Anywho, I got a good message for you today, everybody. One of my favorite books I think every entrepreneur should read, every single entrepreneur, especially sales agents and insurance, is The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. It is a fantastic book. It will open up your mindset and it will help you to find more success in your life and believe in that success. However, there is a chapter, believe it's chapter 2, pretty sure it's chapter 2. There's a chapter that talks about fear. And the only thing that cures fear is action. Now, I want to tell a story. When I was in college, I went and I received a ROTC Reserve Officer Training Course scholarship, which gave me a full ride to college for my 4-year university. But the handoff, which is what I was fine with, was what I wanted. Handoff is that I had to serve as an officer in the United States Army. Once I graduated, I had to commission. But that was what I wanted to do anyway, so it was an easy handoff, right? Now, in order to become an officer, you have to do there's certain things you have to do because they're training you to be a leader. They're training you, you have to be physically fit. You get tested as a leader, basically for the 4 years you're in college, and primarily during what's called Leadership Development Assessment course, or LDAC, during the summer between our junior and our senior year. It's a 30-day assessment course, kind of like our basic training as cadets going into becoming officers, because I didn't go through a basic training like what most people think of. But it's a 30-day assessment, and every single cadet across the entire nation has to go through it. And we're all racked and stacked, which means we're compared against each other. We're rated, like ranked, ordered against every single cadet in the nation. And you're looked at the entire time, from the time that you arrive on the plane until the time you fly back. You're looked at every single aspect. You're evaluated constantly. Okay. If your bed looks like shit, you're evaluated on that. If you walk by a piece of trash, you're evaluated on that. Lack of discipline. Everything is evaluated. Okay. So there are certain evaluations you cannot miss, or you cannot forego, right? You can't fail. One of them is a swim test. You have to do a swim test. Now, the swim test consists of getting on a high dive, and we had on full BDUs. Okay. Full BDUs. We had on our what's called LBE, or load bearing equipment, which basically is the belt that has the suspenders, and on the belt is attached to, we have canteens and our compass and like whatever else we want to have on there. It's basically our Batman utility belt, right? You'd have like ammo pouch, stuff like that. We had to have a weapon, and then we had to have our soft cap. We're blindfolded, our eyes are covered, and we got to step off this high dive into a pool. And then once we get in, we have to keep the weapon out of the water with one arm, and you have to side stroke out of the pool to get to the side of the pool. You have to put the weapon out, and then you have to, we had to tread water for 5 minutes. I believe it's five or 10 minutes, something like that. Tread water. And then we also had to create, use our pants. We had to take our pants off in the water, and we used our pants to create a flotation device to show us how to do it. You had to do it while you're in the water. So basically, this was the swim test. And I think there was a couple other things, but that's the biggest thing. And a lot of people had a lot of fear when it came to going off the high dive blindfolded. Now, the population is split between people that are good with water and people that are definitely afraid of water. Like, I mean, terrified. Okay. And if you're terrified of water, like I do not get in water. I don't even like bathtubs, kind of thing. You understand when you're terrified of swimming. You're like, I'm a terrible swimmer. I'm terrified of it. You would understand jumping into the deep end blindfolded with all this equipment and a weapon and like having to do this. It would probably paralyze you with fear, right? Now, every single year, about 3,000, 3,500 agents, 3,500 cadets are commissioned to become officers. Okay. Year after year. So, and it's slowly increasing. So it's probably like 4,000 by now. Anywho, out of those 4,000, you damn sure you better believe that there's going to be some that are terrified of swimming, that just are not good swimmers. But they're like, "Hey, man, I got to do. You have to do it in order to commission." And Uncle Sam, by this time, this is you're a junior in college. You've been in ROTC, freshman, sophomore, junior. They've been investing into you this entire time. You better believe that Uncle Sam's pushing you in that pool, like it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing this. There's not really an option. So, um, I watched. I remembered my swim test, and I watched people that were I'm talking terrified. I'm talking terrified. Just white as a ghost. And they were so terrified and you saw it was almost palpable in the air around them. And you saw like, dude, this guy's gonna puke on the way, like climbing, blindfolded, climbing this high dive. But something miraculous happened every single time as they were terrified all the way up until the moment that they committed to the decision that they're doing this. Like they're on the edge of the high dive. And and you can see it. It's almost like a switch flips in their mind. They're like, there's no way out of it. They're doing it. And all of a sudden, that switch flips, completely different person. It's go time. They step off and they go. You could you could visibly see the difference because they decided on action. It was decided in their mind it's happening. They started to take action and it cured the fear because now they don't have time for fear. They don't have to, they're in survive mode. They know they can't swim, but they have to do this. They're in survive mode. Now it's time to act. And every single time that happened, you know what happened? They get done. They'd actually pass the test and they get done. They'd be like, yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't that bad. They're like, man, I was really scared, really up to it, but it wasn't that bad. The first time I jumped out of a helicopter during air assault school, where we had to rappel out of helicopters, I was terrified. We were 100 feet in the air. The helicopter was just sitting there, just hovering over the ground. Terrified. Now, I've done rappelling quite a bit, but I'd never rappelled open face like that, 100 feet in the air from a helicopter when the rotor is going and the rotor wash, which is the airstream that's created from the rotor that's pushing down, is pushing you down the rope. On top of that, I've got a rucksack, a 35-pound rucksack on my back on top of that. And I'm just getting pushed down this rope and I can't stop it to save my life, no matter what. Like I keep trying to put my arm in my back. For those of you know how to do rappelling, where you put your arm in your back with the rope behind it, and that tension stops you in place. I kept trying to do that, couldn't do it. I'm just sitting there sliding. Right, I was terrified coming out of that air, coming out of that helicopter. But once I got out, and I was in the air, and I'm rotor wash. Didn't care, survive mode. Right, nothing in the world cures fear other than action and moving forward. And here's the thing is that it's a beautiful moment when you get just past that point of terror, just past that point of fear, that you can find pure bliss. And God puts the best things in life just past the point of terror. The best successes in life, the best feelings, the best emotions. It's literally quite amazing. As entrepreneurs, we feel fear all the time. I wake up worried, stressed, fearful about, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to make it? Am I going to be able to help these people? Am I going to be able to be successful? But I don't let it paralyze me to the point that I don't act because I'm so afraid of acting. A lot of people do that. A lot of people are so afraid to move forward on buying leads in order to generate income. What if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does? So what if it doesn't? Buy some more. Try it again. Obviously, this system would work because if it did not work, there would not be millions of agents that are licensed in the insurance industry. There would not be all these people having this success and still doing it. Obviously, it works. You got to remove the fear and you got to take massive action and push past that fear to success, to bliss, to happiness. Sitting there and debating on whether or not to do what you need to do for fear of action will only make the fear grow and duplicate in your mind. It'll make action like more impossible. So, two things. One, go read The Magic of Thinking Big. Fantastic book. Start bettering yourself every day. And two, pick one thing that you're afraid of doing. Something small. Something small. But pick one thing. If you don't like the gym and you're overweight and you want to make a change in your life, but you're like, well, I don't know what to do. And you're a little fearful of going to the gym where you see like all these people that work all the time, go to the gym for 10 minutes. Go do 2 exercises. You'll get done and you'll see it wasn't that bad. But pick one thing. That's one thing in your life that you want to overcome that's fearful, that you're fearful of. And I promise you, you're going to see dividends in your life that you're going to be able to duplicate and build off of to have a more successful, productive life as an entrepreneur, especially if you're in insurance. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time,